Today. We're going to go tomato talk, top of mind. We're going to advance through different obstacles, find out what's going on, get you caught up to a whole bunch of different things. There's so many events coming up over the next, actually over the next 2 months. So it's pretty darn exciting. We'll see what we could include you in on what it is that you would like to participate with. So that should be pretty cool. All right, let's go and see what we have been fooling around trying to get. Trying to work through this thing here. So we're well, let's go. Let's go with the racetrack, not street. That's the first one. So that starts. What are we at? It's March 21st. I think that's the next event that's coming up there. So that's I'm sorry, April 2nd. We begin with racetrack, not street. Now let's put the comments up over here. So that should be kind of fine to go and do, which we got. Let's go on to the next slide. I'm still actually trying to figure out how to automate this darn thing. Much to learn. There we go. April 2nd begins the racetrack, not street. So the whole idea behind that one is a whole lot of fun, without a doubt. A whole lot of fun. I was asked yesterday by a few people, it's like, what kind of people to expect down there. And you've got an interesting crowd because you do have some professional racers that are going to be down there. John Montecalvo being one of them, and then quite a few others. They'll be bringing, they'll be bringing their cars that are more their street cars, quick street cars, as they participate. The full blown race cars they have a little too fast for that track. So there will be, I believe it to be 125-mile-an-hour speed limit on an eighth of a mile. So that's moving along, folks. It definitely is moving along. The track itself, and I'll show you some photos over here from last year, which you will be able to see will be very similar. Similar. That's right, similar to what was last year. So let's kind of zip this one along over here. Move on to the next slide. So it's April 2nd. The five races in April, and then they'll begin again in August and go August, September, October. But the five races in April are the 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, and then the 16th. I think the 17th can be a rain date type thing. But you got five. They're all weekends. They're all daytime. So you got to go through tech if you want to bring your car down there, and it could be any car with some exceptions in there. Any car. The car has to pass a safety inspection. So that's one thing. The I think like the battery's got to be tied down. There has to be a muffler for your speedier people. There's got to be a muffler attached to that car. So attach a muffler to the car, so you'll be able to go and do that. And then away you go. You got to wear a helmet too. It's I don't know the exact requirements of the helmet, but it's got to be a real helmet, real muffler, and good to go. The food trucks, there'll be food trucks again. I do hope that this company comes back. Soul Food. Soul Food was had the shrimp po' boy. Yeah, it was very good. Definitely good. We'll go for something a little different next go around. Had an ice cream truck was there. Had a Greek truck was there and a couple of others. All good. Eagle Chevrolet, I'm told, is coming back again. So kudos, guys and ladies. It'd be nice to see you back there one more time. Some of these guys, I do hope this guy comes back again too. Beautiful car. It is just an amazing car. Gentleman driving that car, 78, was 78, should be 79 by now. Uh, Wealth of information. And these are some of the things that are going to change here. One, wealth of information. Last year, I walked around, I had chat. I chatted with a lot of people. This year, I'm going to be capturing interviews. I look forward to that. Now, whether they're broadcast live or they're recorded for future use, maybe we'll play on this program. We'll see. So, ladies that are doing the social media side of this thing, we'll see how that one goes. So, we'll see how that goes. Now, so, the, remind me, hey, good to see you. I will fill you in on that one. I didn't mean to smile so much. Yes, I did actually. I I got to tell you, doing this program here and then doing this thing, it just like gets the adrenaline flowing, pumps up the whole body with energy. It's all good, all good. All right, here we go. This other car. That is a yeah. I gotta pick up my knowledge of cars to tell you the tell you the dark truth. You never say, "Yo, we got a red car in lane 2" and stuff like that. But to pick out these things, I do get sheets. Oh, did I tell you? I'll be announcing the cars again this year. There's some, not all of it, but a lot of it. Definitely looking forward to that. So I get a sheet, and it's got some specifications on there. So I'm hoping in advance to get some of the stories with these people. This way I get to, not just say lane number 2 is XYZ car. I get to actually tell you a bit of the story. That's the exciting part. So anyhow, he's down there with his car. You can see a bunch of others there. Looks like they are, I'd say it looks like they're lined up to get into the park in the beginning stages of it. So that's where that's at. This Tesla, the electric vehicles. My guess is there'll be a lot more electric vehicles this year. And yeah, I know, I get it. You, ladies and gentlemen, love to hear the revving of the engine and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. It's pretty darn exciting to see this beefed up car, big engine, all the rest of that, smoking the tires in the beginning, right? Doing the wheel spin, getting all ready to go. And then lines up against one of these Teslas, and then Tesla just rips them apart. That's the future, right there, right there. It is the future. You want to know more about that one? Start following some of these other car racing uh, organizations. Formula One. I don't know if they're going to go electric, but they all going green. They are working on zero, let's call it zero net emissions from the races, and that is such a setup, right? I mean, these cars are burning through fuel really quick. For one, they're showing up at 2, 3 mobile homes. That's another thing. The amount of people that they're transporting over there is just unbelievable. It's really incredible. There was a video I saw about one of the race teams, and the effort that goes into this thing is just incredible. The amount of money that is spent on that is just absolutely incredible. But think about this. Think about you taking a machine shop and a 20,000 square foot office and saying, okay, we're moving to, let's say we're in America, right? We're in New York. We're moving to Virginia. And then after Virginia, we're going to then move to Kentucky. And then after Kentucky, you're moving to Michigan and packing all this stuff up, loading it into the cars, into the into these trucks week after week, and making the whole thing work. Just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. This won't be that much. But anyhow, so the electric vehicles there. There you go. Hey, Kara, we're talking about cool cars. What about this thing? This looks like a toy. It's just something else. Except when he goes down the track. I did capture one of the videos. And if you want to see some of the videos from last year, go to Racetrack Not Street, Facebook page, Facebook group page, open to everybody, or Line Ads, which is Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. LINADS. There's a number of videos that are down there. There are other people's videos. I didn't speak to them, otherwise I'd be playing some of these things. So that's where that one goes. But beautiful stuff. And this car, this car is quick, really super quick. Awesome stuff. This guy too, beautiful car. It's like this guy's pet project. Just beautiful the way he spoke about the car. Great story over there. I met his wife down there chatting about that thing, the amount of time, energy, and effort he puts into it. Just really phenomenal. Really, really super phenomenal stuff. All right, if you're going to be heading down there for the first time and you're going to be racing, you are going to this meeting. That is the driver's meeting. They will explain to you how the whole thing works. One, the tech inspection, you would have gone through tech already at this point in time. You'd have gotten all the release forms, all that stuff would have been done. This would have been explained. They would have explained to you over here how it really works. You are going to line up, and they had like 4 or 5 lanes. Again, that might change a little bit this year because it's a slightly different configuration, one that works out better. I think better for the racers, much better for the spectators. Much better for the spectators. But so you're going down there. One of the things that was mentioned there, which I found to be quite interesting, is the fact that since this is It's an NHRA sponsored, or I'm sorry, NHRA, National Hot Rod Association sanctioned event. In other words, there are certain rules that must be followed on it. A lot of that, or most of that, actually has to do with the safety instructions, all the rest of that kind of stuff. The cars that line up, you don't know who you're going to be lined up against for most of it. There will be some special races and special events that will take place within here, where you are racing against somebody. It's called bracket racing. And even then, the two cars may not be the same speed cars, but they get adjusted on that Christmas tree, the lighting system over there, as to when they start. So, in theory, if you have a car that would go down the eighth of a mile and it would normally take you 6 seconds, and I'm driving a car where it would take me normally 9 seconds to get down that eighth of a mile. Now, what'll happen is that I'll get a 3 second head start, right? So now the 6 second car will now have to wait until I have gone through 3 seconds. So it would then take me another 6 seconds to get down the track, and then that car will have that their race time, which has been calculated to be 6 seconds going down the track. They know this because of prior times that you've run the car. Now you have a race. Now you really have a heads up kind of a race because of the time frame adjustment, that's in there. So it's kind of cool. So that's one thing that's pretty exciting. But the other thing that I found to be pretty interesting is the fact that if you were to line up against somebody and you were uncomfortable racing against that other person for whatever reason, or you wanted to go alone, you could go alone. And I think that's pretty good because of the fact that it adds to the comfort level. And if you don't want to go against somebody that's wild and all over the place, and those persons will be called out. By the way, I know from my experience when I was down there last year, there was nobody that was intentionally wild with the car and the rest of that stuff. Yeah, people get a little, the car gets loose, a little, starts sliding back and forth a little bit, as they're going through the gears, going down the track. But, that is part of it. But that safety factor is there. So if you feel uncomfortable racing against somebody for your own, from your own comfort level, maybe your own driving ability, first time doing it, who knows what the car is going to do. In fact, I did speak to somebody who's got a very fast car that has never ran a car on a track like that, so doesn't really know what the car is capable of or what they're capable of matched up with that car. There's a comfort level in there. You and I driving down the highway at 55 miles an hour, and I know you do 55 miles an hour. I mean, it's different. When the light turns green and we press on the gas and go forward, it's different. But if you got a car with a lot of power on it, different world, definitely different world. So you got to get to know your ability with the car. So if there is a safety concern, either yours or with the other person, boom, you get to go alone, which is really, really nice. I think that's great. Slows it down a little bit, but better safe. Better that the fact it's safe. All right, let's move on to the next slide over here. By the way, that's Tom Wilson over there with the microphone, the red shirt. He's the one that's really involved with the cars. There's Pete Scalzi is involved with the track and the whole operation of the whole thing, but the car side of it, it's really Tom, and does a great job. He's silent, a little quieter, not silent, but quieter, very efficient guy. Look forward to actually chatting with him. I didn't do that at all. These are the cars lined up over here. And as you can see, quite a few. This will be somewhat the scene that you'll see again over there. Wide variety of cars. That's an important factor in the whole thing. And some of the cars are not actually cars. They're actually junior dragsters. I do hope that these kids, yes, Kids, kids, will be down there again. Some of these kids, the youngest one last year was 6 years old. 6. That's right, 6. Single digit there. 6. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they ripped down that track. Let me tell you something. It's something. They do, I think it was something between 50, 60 miles an hour. And you're like, well, that's not that fast. Bull. Bull. I went, here's my racing experience now. Went to Englishtown, New Jersey, and Lime Rock Park up in Connecticut. Oh my, did I have a fun time. It was a family outing. Had a great time doing this thing. But we raced go-karts. Go-karts. Yeah, not the 10-mile-an-hour go-karts, that you could do with some of these amusement parks, but these were go-karts. These were 45-mile-an-hour go-karts, and we were on a track in Englishtown. We were in the parking lot, and they set it up like a road course. Let me tell you something. 45 miles an hour when you're doing a track or road course, wasn't straight line. We were turning and stuff like that, and you're 3 inches off the ground, you're moving. The relative speed to the vehicle and you're just right out in the open on the whole thing. It was much quicker. I would love to do one of these things. I don't think I'd fit in that car, but I would love to do one of these things. Who knows? We'll see what the future holds on that one. But really cool. Anyhow, I hope they're down there again. And then of course you get a chance to take a couple of photos. So if you're going to go down there, bring the camera without a doubt. And that is my attempt to get shots of the cars at the finish line. Now, if you're a photographer, you got to tell me, how do you do that photo where the car is clear and the background is blurry? I see these pictures that are just absolutely gorgeous, but it's the car, the moving vehicle is clear and the background's blurry as if it's moving. I would really love to know how to make that happen. All right, so that is let's see if we go back to that is going to be April 2nd. We do that whole thing. I'm just going to put it up over here this way you can get the information. So if you want to sponsor the thing, you can contact Marie. If you want to race, so we just get general information, you could give the general phone number there a call and let them know that you have. Whoop, sorry about that. Let them know you have an interest. You can go to Racetrack Knott Street, pull up all the information. So what's going on this year? What's kind of cool? What's the obstacle? Well, here's the obstacle: is the fact that I've never. Well, last year I did it. I volunteered. I got a chance to announce some of the races. This year I'll be doing it more. So I'll be doing it for many of the races. We've got to figure out exactly how much and who else is going to be in that booth, the announcer booth, and actually what that announcer booth looks like. It looks like there's been a further development in there in the booth itself. Last year it was a trailer. It was right at the edge, right by the starting area, so it was great. Good. This year it might be an upgrade on the whole thing, which is nice. We'll see what the PA system looks like. We'll see what the video looks like. We'll see about live streaming this thing. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? So we'll be heading out there. We're going to see what we can do, what's possible, and the rest of that stuff. Because we want to bring as many people out to the track as possible. There is a limit with the amount of attendees. So if you do want to go, you want to get the tickets in advance. And it is 25 for spectators. It's $25 a ticket. If you're going to race, it's a little bit more, 50. Or if you want to park in a certain area, I think it gets to be as much as $70. But that's it. And I can tell you, if you're a spectator and you're like $70 to race a car, well, you want to know it. These folks, if they're trailing in those cars over the bridge, they're spending that and more to get over the bridge. Now we could match up gas. I mean, you're still driving out there, but it's less distance, all the rest of that stuff. But let me tell you, they'll be racing the cars for the cost of basically transporting those cars over the bridges one way and back, of course, for the weekend. The other advantage that they love, absolutely love, is the fact that those cars or their weekends are now waking up at home on a Saturday, racing on a Saturday, and going home on a Saturday, and if they so want, going back again on Sunday after sleeping in their home. Wow. Talk about a cost savings. I mean, think about this, because if they go to upstate New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Jersey, wherever, they're traveling quite a few hundred miles to go and do the thing. They're not coming home at night. So, and then they got to stay someplace. So you got the expense of the motel or hotel, and maybe they have a mobile home, which is another expense getting over the bridge. So they are actually loving the fact that this is going to save them a boatload of money or a carload of money, truckload of money. by doing the racing over here. And it also allows them to bring the entire family, which is one of the greatest things I saw last year was the amount of family members that were attending this thing. How do I know they were family members? Because they all had T-shirts on, team whatever, was there, and they were families of, families, at the food trucks, at the cars. Some of the cars had uh, team members, not just family members, but team members, with the cars. But just great. I don't know what the average age was, but it was all over the place from those 6-year-olds driving the car and their entire family down there to the two grannies who love racing, who wore the T-shirts, grannies who love racing. So you got to love that aspect of it. So that was really neat what they're doing now. Oh, we're 20 minutes into it already. All right, so we got the car racing. That's going to be April 20th. Let's tell you exactly what this also kind of ties in with, and that is the career aspect of it. Now, as you know from last year, and if you don't know from last year, let's keep it current. Let's talk about this year. This year. So this idea of the car racing. I think there's three different aspects of this thing. One is going to be the fact that it's entertainment. Call it what you will, man. It is just flat out. And I'm talking from the spectator standpoint. It's flat out entertainment. Oh, I also want to mention too, the way they're going to set it up this year is that the pit area, uh, is going to be a much bigger and wider area. So if you're going to be walking through where the cars are, and as spectators, you certainly can do that. I'm saying encouraged to do that. Bring the camera. It's going to be less walking because it was spread out last year. This year it won't be as spread out, which is really nice. So entertainment. I mean, let's talk about this. What are the benefits of having something like this? Now, yeah, I get it. If you're a driver and you're racing your car, you don't have to travel to different states to do that. You're going to stay here. Okay, so that aspect of it. What about the rest of us? When was the last time you saw drag racing? Maybe you saw it last year, and if you didn't, it was 17 years since the last time you saw drag racing. 17 years. There was a couple of tracks out here, but they haven't been in existence for quite a while. The racetracks that we have, one. We just have one, Riverhead Raceway. That's it. That's it. And they're racing every weekend. They're out there racing, and it's good, and it's good from an industrial standpoint. There's an industry there, but there's also the spectators that are coming down there. It's good fun. On a weekend night that they have, this could be a weekend day, and there'll be some nights as we get into August. It's August, September, and October, but it's fun. It's good. It's good entertainment. It's something a little bit different. So you got that aspect of it. And that also translates into the tourism dollars. Right. There is the potential for additional tourism dollars coming to Long Island because of this. There's people that are in New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, upstate New York. Perhaps they're going to come down there, race their car on a weekend, doing it on a Saturday or Sunday over here. Perhaps they're going to stay for the weekend and go to some of the other destinations that we have out here. Maybe spend some time at the beach, go to some of the amusement areas, some of the water parks that are there, the golf courses that are there, stay at the hotels, East Wind, Hotel Indigo. Hotel Indigo, I know, has got a deal right now. They've given a special racing rates, weekend rates, for that. There's been also a request for any of the restaurants, delis, any of those places that want to share some coupons with the racing public. So if you're interested, you want to go to those websites and see what's there. But they get it. Those establishments get it. They get the fact that there will be additional funds coming out. Some of that from funds, some of that additional spending is going to be from people on Long Island. Some of those funds, some of that spending may be from people outside of Long Island. Be interesting as this thing continues to grow. Who else benefits from it? Let's see. Besides the bridges, Portchester Ferry? Yeah, I would think so. Perhaps the airport, MacArthur Airport, Breeze Airways. Breeze Airways, new airline coming to MacArthur Airport. Maybe they're going to get a little bit of a pickup from this thing. also. So there's a lot that goes on. Plus, also a lot of these folks that are racing those cars, it's their cars. These are not sponsored cars by major corporations and stuff like that. It's their cars. So they, they're spending the money on these cars and they travel too. So you know what? I think there's a benefit all around in that respect. So that's there. The other side of it too is the fact that besides the well, you get the two. You get the entertainment side. We'll just stay with that. The entertainment side of it, we're good there. And then we also have the tourism side of it. That's there. Let's go with it. And then is the top of mind thinking here. Oh, I got 5 minutes. Is the fact that we still have a lot of racing that's taking place on the street that should be taking place on the track. Will all of it happen? Oh, well, wouldn't that be nice? But that whole idea of the name here of racetrack, not street, is to bring these men and women that are racing their cars in places they shouldn't be racing their cars over to the track. Over to the track. Yeah, there are some rules over here, but it's not crazy rules. Eighth of a mile distance, is there. It's better than street light to street light, right? It's safer, much safer. You got to have a helmet. I don't know if they're wearing helmets or not, the rest of that stuff. But besides that little aspect of it, is the fact that should something go wrong for those that are racing their cars on the street, they're hitting a concrete barrier that they're going to slide along. They're not hitting a telephone pole, fire hydrant, other cars, other people, stuff like that. So I think that aspect of it is phenomenal. You're going to hear a lot more about that from me as we progress over here, because in August, a group from Medley, Florida, called Beat the Heat, they're going to be coming up. And I know Pete is building up some cars over here that are going to look like police cars. So you'll get a chance to race a police car. And if you beat the heat, right, the cops, you get a T-shirt that says "I beat the heat." But what about the rollover aspect of that? And this goes into the vocational trades. Oh, and I only got 3 minutes. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. I'm going to do another video on this one. I mean, in fact, you know what? I'm going to do a video just purely on the vocational side of it. But let me leave this with the teaser, since we only have 3 minutes over here. What about the vocational aspect of this whole thing? What do you think happens when a high school student or somebody that's in transition comes to realize that the thing that they always love to do is to screw around with their car? Like to put the wheels on there, like to, tune the engine, like to do that stuff, like to paint up the car, do the artwork on there, do the pinstriping on there. Remember all those kids that just love that, just love being around the cars, the race cars and stuff like that. What about those kids, these students, just love new technology, including aerospace stuff. Loves to see things go quick and do it differently, right? Maybe it's an engine, a combustion engine. Thanks, Mike. Maybe it's a combustion. Let's get back into this form of you. Maybe it's a combustion engine. Maybe it's an electric engine. That Tesla flying down the track over there, beating out most of the other cars was just unbelievable. Eighth of a mile track. Quarter mile changes up a little bit there, but still, that eighth of a mile track. What if more and more of our students got into those electric cars, figured out how to make those batteries last longer, figure out how to make maybe those batteries lighter, figure out how to transport energy, that electricity, further and further, where we had solar power, out in the Midwest, out in the desert areas. But we're able to bring that over here. Hey, somebody came up with that crazy idea a long time ago about taking electricity that was generated by water, Niagara Falls, and transporting it to New York and lighting up the streets. But if you were alive during that period, you would think that's crazy. How can you do that? You can't do that. Well, they did that. Why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we generate solar power out in the deserts here? What if, could you imagine in the deserts over in Africa, there were solar panels that went up over there where it's sunshine like all the time? And that electricity was able to be stored and transported around the world? Amazing. Maybe, oh, it just sounds like a James Bond movie. What if there were satellites over there that would beam down power beams that generate electricity? It's crazy. I know. It's 30 minutes. I can't go on. That's crazy. Is it? Is it? Or is it just something we're not talking about yet? Or is it something we never thought of yet? But I bet there's some kid someplace that's like, well, if we could do that, why can't we do this? Maybe a racetrack will do that. Maybe it will. Hey, that's kind of cool. And if you're wondering about the hat over here, take steps at, well, I could put the motivational side on that, right? We all need to take a step forward in order to move forward. But it's also the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Yeah, it's a nonprofit I get behind. Wanted to highlight that one here today. So that's that. Maybe they'll be out at the racetrack. I know one of the ladies is very much into race cars, so I'm sure she'd be thrilled to do that one. And last year they did. They also had a nonprofit out at each one of them. You know, that was kind of cool. Who they always out there was John's Crazy Socks. Love that guy. So happy, so enthusiastic, just great. Does get it. Gets it across the board. Wonder if his parents said, you know, what if? John, you love socks. What if we started a sock company? Amazing. And then to have a former president wear the socks on national TV, international TV if you're president. Who knew? Who would have imagined? Who could imagine what the kids of today could develop with a racetrack because of a racetrack as a catalyst? That's vocational stuff. We'll be back more on this one. So anyhow, we'll see you April 2nd. Chat anytime sooner. Folks, thanks for joining us here today. And this is Tomato Talk. I'm Brian Cohen. And I got to tell you, I love doing this stuff. Find something you love to do. It'll energize you throughout the time. Oh, good. All right, let's go. I missed the Tomato Talk, the tomato music in the beginning. Let's play a little tomato on the way out. Got to get something more exciting than a tomato.